Hey guys, and welcome to another reaction video. Yeah, and today I'm continuing with the Taking MLP series videos by George Scorcher, or the Fiery Joker. The next one, or the next two, are testing 1 2 3, and after that it would actually be Tradia. But apparently either he didn't do Tradia at all, or it's at least not in his playlist. I didn't find it. I didn't look too hard, but I didn't find it and said, okay. If he did Tradia, I just didn't find it. It was for some reason not in the playlist. You can tell me and I will probably do it at another time. But right now it's testing 1 2 3. Tradia is not there, so I'm moving on to the next one, which is Inspiration Manifestation. Yeah. Testing 1 2 3. The episode where they want to make sure that Rainbow Dash passes the entrance exam for the Wonderbolts Academy. I liked it. I liked it that, you know, Rainbow Dash was actually kind of going. Was this before or after Wonderbolts Academy? I think it was before. It should be before, right? I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, I do like that they are like moving on to that Rainbow Dash becoming a Wonderbolt thing. No, it must have been before, because they were talking about the newly formed Wonderbolts reserves, and after that, in Wonderbolts Academy, they were already trained to become a reserve. Anyway, I liked it that they were kind of going with that, you know, that kind of continuity thing, established in the very first episode, and I think Lauren Foss said that this was one of the things she wanted to do for Rainbow Dash anyway, so... Like, if I'm informed correctly, which I very well may not be, she had for most, if not all of the main six, like kind of a storyline planned for what they're gonna achieve in the future. And for Rainbow Dash, it was becoming a Wonderbolt, which did happen in season 6. And I don't know, I kind of liked that they were going with that. The episode itself was kind of funny. Rainbow Dash totally struck me as the one who's not that much for learning. For me, it depends on what I have to learn. I am actually fairly interested in history, so this wouldn't be that big of a problem for me. Especially if I would be interested in becoming a Wonderbolt, which I would probably be if I'm trying to pass the entrance exam. It would be kind of weird if I weren't. So. But yeah, that rap though, come on. I think I've talked about that before, but that rap, freaking hate it. It's so bad. I think I only listened to it once in its entirety, and it was a remix which made it kind of better. But from the very first time I took my headphones, back there where I had earplugs, and I took them off, and I no, I'm not listening to that. I know it's a joke, and it's okay that it is there as a joke, but it's still horrible. It's meant to be horrible, but just no. It had some fun bits in there, I think. I sort of like the solution with that multitasking thing, even though multitasking is pretty much a myth. At least to this degree, multitasking would not be possible. At least for a human. Maybe ponies are just different. But I don't know. I kind of like that for me, it was obvious that at the end of the episode, they had to find Rainbow Dash's way of how to learn and not try their ways on how to learn things. For me, it was sort of obvious. Maybe I've seen that somewhere before, or maybe it seems just logical to me, because I know that everyone learns kind of differently. But I mean, the way they came up with how she learns, I thought was kind of interesting and fun, even though it's not quite possible. So yeah, I don't know, I liked it. So I guess let's just find out what he thinks about it, I guess. Starting 3, 2, 1, click. It's a little bit loud. It's a tad bit loud. Oh right, that isn't on the Fiery Joker show, is it? I'm not entirely sure if it is. It might be.
You know, I think I found the perfect phrase to describe this episode. Awkward, yet informative. Yeah,
It's
the premise was awkward, the humor was awkward, and the scenes were pretty awkward too.
Yeah,
Now, awkward isn't always bad.
No.
In fact, awkward can be good.
Yeah.
And we are shown through this awkwardness more of Equestria's history. But this episode is both the good and the bad of awkward. So this starts out with Rainbow Dash goofing off when she should be studying, and Twilight, after dumping exposition via external monologue, nags her to get some work done, to which Rainbow Dash makes a joke about Twilight making a song about freaking out about tests, which she wasn't there for, so she couldn't know about it. And Twilight offers to help her study for her History of the Wonderbolts exam. And before you say anything, yes, in the military, you do have to study the history of your respective branch, and you are tested on that material. The purpose for this is for the soldier to further understand and appreciate the traditions behind each branch, and why things are the way they are, and to assist in building up a soldier's spirit and motivation to perform their duty.
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, and osmium, and astatine, and radium, and gold, protactinium, and indium, and gallium.
Twilight gives Rainbow Dash a pop quiz, and she fails, and Rainbow Dash finally realizes she might fail, and throws the blame on Twilight.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, freaking what? A friend just took time out of her day to help you, put up with your shenanigans, and you respond by pushing the blame on her and spitting in her face? I'm sorry, but I'm completely on Twilight's side in this argument.
Yep.
Twilight may not have successfully helped, but at least she cares enough to try and prevent Rainbow Dash from completely bombing. If it wasn't for her, Rainbow Dash would do even worse on the test. Yeah, you're a great friend, RD, kicking dirt at someone who's just trying to help. Well, at least she apologized for it. So Fluttershy tries to teach RD via theatrical presentation, and
Fails.
I didn't like this scene.
I was
just
okay with
awkward.
it. Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
find
awkward,
any
but I
part of
was
this
okay
scene
with it.
funny, cute, or anything. Where was the joke? I don't get it.
I
Then
guess.
Pinkie decides to try teaching via musical. This should be interesting.
No.
After all, Amy Keating Rogers' last song was the Smile song.
It
I
was
wonder what
great.
great and memorable tune she came up with this time.
Well, back in ancient times, there were the Wonderbolts of old. A generally firefly, amazing and so bold. Wonderbolts, yeah! Wonderbolts, Wonderbolts, yeah! Wonderbolts, That is my rapping history of the Wonderbolts.
No.
No.
That was horrible.
No. Yes.
Not just because I think rap isn't music, just terrible poetry set to a beat, but again, it was so awkward. I know this is supposed to be a parody of 90s rap, but just because it's a parody doesn't mean it's automatically funny. Yeah, I don't appreciate rap, but you can make fun of things people hate and have it still be funny. You know how in the 90s
like
Disney
that.
tried to appeal to kids by getting funky and chilling with the cool guys, but they just came off as cringeworthy as your parents trying too hard to get with the times?
Yep.
That's kind of how I felt here. If you laughed at it, fine.
I
just thought
didn't.
it was about as entertaining as the rap.
I'm okay with it being there, but
So
yeah.
then Rarity comes along,
that.
dressed as Sergeant Pepper, and
Why do I
decides to
know
try
about
to
this again? I think it was
I really
John
like how this
Sean,
episode
the
shows
John Sean
different
show.
proven effective methods of learning. Twilight gives the textbook methods, Fluttershy tries a visual performance representation, Pinkie makes a song out of it, and Rarity tries the museum approach. And they all start debating about which method is better. Hey guys, there's still a mentioned movie that you haven't tried. That seems like it would totally be up Rainbow's alley. As long as it's
Is there a
official, which is
movie?
highly likely, considering the movie is apparently titled History of the Wonderbolts, I don't see any reason why you can't at least give that a try. So Rainbow Dash gives up and flies
I'm
away.
not entirely sure if
Twilight
there
tries to
actually
cheer
is
up
a
and
movie
almost gets
or-
hit by a helicopter, which didn't think to move out of the way of Princess Twilight.
Apparently.
Guess helicopters can't turn very well? That's a bit of a hazard. So then Rainbow shows that she learns visually via multitasking. I buy it. I know several people that do learn like that, and it makes sense that Rainbow would learn like this. I mean, considering her daily life of having to be aware of everything that goes on around her, she would have an attention deficit when she's not doing something that interests her. So
Yeah.
the main six exploit this, and Rainbow learns the history and passes. With a sticker. What is this, elementary school? And that's the episode. Despite some really cringeworthy moments, this was another great episode dealing with how everyone is different, and we have quite a bit of world building. You know, I think I want to talk about that. At first, I was hesitant to call the Wonderbolts actual military, because even though they showed Drill Instructor Spitfire, the stuff the Wonderbolts did wasn't really anything combat related. Also, there was the fact that the Wonderbolts were freaking useless every time disaster struck, so yeah, my pride was kinda hoping they weren't. But this episode confirms that they are, in fact, military. And we are also told that prior to Luna's banishment, there was no military, and it was formed after Luna was banished. Why? Did another nation catch wind that Luna was absent and invaded or something? And we are shown that Luna was recorded in history as, well, existing as a monarch, but it never said anything about her becoming Nightmare Moon. So, Celestia intentionally kept Luna becoming Nightmare Moon a secret, yet the story of Nightmare Moon still got out. Why? Well, I suppose that the damage to the castle and the sudden appearance of a pony's head on the moon, Celestia would have had to come up with an explanation for that and Luna's disappearance. Or ponies made up their own legend if Celestia kept silent. People did do that in real life, and it was 1,000 years, so there is a lot of room for error. Okay, this is actually starting to get cool. I hope I'm not just taking this too seriously.
You probably are.
Burn, 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 and we're the ones that did it. They burn, 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 while the president ran and cried. It burned, 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 and things were very historical. And the Americans ran and cried like a bunch of little babies. Wah, 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 in the war of...
What's that song? What? War of 1812? Okay. Sure. Yep. Yeah. Didn't get much out of this. Yeah, there were awkward bits in there. I liked some parts of it, others I did. The rap, can't mention that enough, didn't like it. The theme was kind of just out there for me. I didn't find it all that funny either, but I didn't have a great problem with it or anything, so I guess I can agree with it for the most part. Inspiration manifestation. Yep, Rarity getting corrupted by a spell. I have never actually heard anyone say anything negative about Rarity in this episode. If they are, then that would be my argument. She was being corrupted by that spell. It seemed rather obvious to me, and maybe it's obvious to everyone else as well, and nobody is actually saying anything negative about Rarity in this one. I liked it that it was kind of a friendship lesson that Spike learned. I have the feeling that that doesn't happen often to Spike, and I mean, he's a baby dragon. He sure has something still to learn. I would guess at least, so it would be nice. I don't know. I definitely liked the episode, but right now I can't think of anything really worth mentioning, both good and bad. So maybe this recap will help me. Will help me remember things. So let's just get started with this. 3, 2, 1, click.
We've had several that were decent, but this is the first one I can call great!
Oh, he really likes it.
A lot of people complain, including me sometimes, that Spike is a pushover. It does sometimes seem that way, what with the way he's treated by several members of the main six. While it is somewhat true, I think there's another side to it. Although Spike at your service, as much as people don't like how it portrayed Spike as uncharacteristically incompetent, it did cement something about his character that made me realize why I liked him so much. His chivalry. Spike has a sort of young child nobility to him, always being ready to help and trying to make someone's life easier without expecting anything in return. He views the main six as role models and heroes, and come on, wouldn't you be just as eager to serve and help your heroes? Also, headcanon time, I think that given his dedication to his dragon code, it seems he's trying to embody the ideals of the legendary noble dragon, the ones he likes to think dragons are like instead of the ones he's actually met. Yeah, the ones he's become acquainted with weren't too great, but to him, I don't think he views that as an excuse to not keep the myth of the noble dragon alive. So this starts off with...
Makes sense.
Another festival. Hey, Silverquill, I think we found your next drinking game.
Yeah.
I can see why party playing is an occupation. And Rarity creates a traveling puppet theater for W.C. Fields' pony, who says it's terrible for being completely unusable. Yeah, Rarity does have a tendency to pick form over function. Oops. And as a result, she descends into Drama Queen mental breakdown number 273.
Or something like
Spike
that,
wants
don't
to
you
help
give
Rarity
like
get back on her
measurements?
feet and
It needs to be
travels
at least
through
this
the
big?
Everfree Forest.
Yeah,
Okay, hold the
I would
phone.
think
Is the
you
Everfree
would.
Forest dangerous or not? I can understand walking into a normal forest, you run the risk of running into wolves or cougars or bears. Oh my. But the Everfree Forest has more deadly animals in it. The worst part is that Spike told no one where he was going. Sure, he had Owlicious who could slowly deliver a message if he got into trouble. Sure, Spike can defend himself, sort of, but this seems incredibly unsafe. After searching around for a book, Spike comes across the Ponynomicon, which is obviously evil. Seriously, this is laughably unsubtle. The spikes, the stone binding, and the fact that it's surrounded by lime green. And as we all know, everything lime green is evil. No, seriously, everything lime green is evil. So he obliviously grabs it anyway.
I
and
like the
reenacts
color
attacking
though.
Daphne.
I bet that's the prize. You won't miss that one tiny year. Like candy from a baby. No one will ever know we were here.
Not at all.
Then Spike brings it to Rarity, who is surprisingly not getting fat from the several tubs of ice cream she's eating. And they try the spell out. It seems to work as Rarity starts creating stuff from her imagination in an instant. Man, I wish I could do that in real life. I'd get these videos out a lot faster. Then again, the hard effort is what makes the product worth it, so yeah, maybe it's best I don't have that. Shame. Then Rarity becomes a little clingy with the book, even going as far as to give another inanimate object a name. Possessive much? And slowly her creativity becomes more and more destructive, including changing a band to a more classical one. Oh gosh, I hope they were just teleported and not gender swapped. Be awkward.
Kinda.
Spike eventually realizes he has to do something and eats the book, but it does nothing as the magic has bonded to Rarity. Then Spike confesses to Rarity about how he really feels about her actions, which breaks the magic off. The ending did seem a little rushed, and I kinda think it's a cop-out having Rarity not remember what happened, but whatever. What I'm more interested in is the magic. It seemed almost sentient, like it was trying to take Rarity over, which actually makes the amnesia more plausible now that I think about it. It needed the book to come into form and alter Rarity's magic, but it didn't need the book to stay. There's also the fact that it looked like it just flew away and didn't dissipate after it came out of Rarity, which is why I get the feeling it's some sort of evil spirit. It's probably not, but it's cool to think about. Yeah. So then we are dropped a line about dark magic. It seems that dark magic isn't as big an issue in Equestria as a lot of people seem to think it is. At worst, Equestrians consider it a nuisance, kind of like Japan with tsunamis. Guess it's just so common, yet so easy to get rid of that they just don't take it too seriously.
Possible. Yeah. Okay. Well, he really liked that episode. He thinks it's great. I don't necessarily disagree. It's definitely not bad. It's really good, actually. Not entirely sure if I would call it great, but you know, if you like it that much, that's good for you. I like it too, but maybe not quite that much. Yeah, other than that, I don't have a lot to say. Yeah, it's interesting to think about the magic being somewhat sentient. Would be interesting to think about it, and I would really like it if it would like come back. I'm not entirely sure if it will. Maybe the writers have already forgotten that it ever existed. I did for a while. But if it would come back in like season 7 or so, it would be pretty cool actually. I would like that. I would really like that. But if not, then it's, guess, not too bad. Even if it were only mentioned at the side, would be still kind of nice. Just, you know, just have a reminder that it's still actually there. Maybe one day they will do something with that. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I never thought about dark magic that way. We don't see that much of it being a huge problem, I guess. Dark magic itself is seemingly fairly easy to get rid of, but it's the caster that's the problem, because he just can't keep going, and if he is using dark magic, you could imagine that maybe he doesn't have the best intentions at heart, or maybe he does but is doing way too much to get these, you know, to reach his goals. Like at some point the ends doesn't justify the means anymore, and what he's doing is just terrible for a way too small price. Something like that would be a problem, but I guess the magic itself, maybe not that much. I could imagine that. It's interesting. But it's just how it is. So yeah, I agree with him. I guess, for the most part. It's an interesting episode. Nice episode. Really good episode. I liked it. So, yeah, I think that's everything I have to say for now. So I guess I just end the video right here. So I hope you guys liked this little commentary. And I'll see you next time. Bye.